3 things I wish I knew as a beginner. Another video review created by the yellow dude. And I pretty much just want to know exactly what he has to say about his mistakes and how we can benefit from them. Because trust me when I say this, if you're serious about your training and you want to improve your strength adaptations, you want to build a bigger physique, you do not want to be hit with unnecessary obstacles and nuances. So let me stop yapping and let's get right into this video.
Today, I want to share 3 game-changing tips I wish I knew when I first started my fitness journey. First up, let's talk about the basics: push-ups, pull-ups, and squats. These are the fundamental bodyweight exercises that lay the groundwork for your strength training. Trust me, focusing on these and aiming for high reps will give you a rock-solid foundation. No matter where you choose to exercise, make sure to include these in your routine.
Mastering the basics. I'm sure y'all heard this many times. I know it can be overlooked because it's really important for you to master the basics. The pull-ups, the push-ups, the dips, and the squats as well. Which actually reminds me of one of my previous consultation calls when somebody had hit me up with a question. He said something along the lines of, how can I learn the handstand push-up, the muscle up? And I went ahead and asked him like, yo, what are your current strength numbers on the pull-ups and the dips? And the dude began to tell me like his pull-ups was like 5 reps. His dips was like 10 reps at best. And I'm like, what are you doing trying to figure out how to learn the handstand push-up and muscle up if you yourself haven't even begun to establish a good foundational strength from just the pull-ups and dips, right? The pull-ups will eventually get you to the point of doing muscle ups. So you have no business trying to learn a muscle up if you can't even pull your body weight from point A to B to the bar, right? Let alone trying to get over the bar, right? So that's what I mean by it's really important for one to really lock in on the foundation and not so hyper focus on the future goals. Like, it's cool to have goals, don't get me wrong, but don't let that deter you away from what's really important in regards to like your current training. Because when you are too eager and you start wanting to do all the exercises under the sun of calisthenics, it's going to leave you with a very inconsistent training plan because your goals will be ever changing because you're always trying to figure out, oh, I can't do this, so let me go ahead and do that. Oh, then once I start doing this movement, I can't do this either, so let me start doing that. And you'll never really be consistent with your training. And that's going to leave a lot of room for error, a lot of room for plateaus, and, kind of spinning in circles, which is why the foundation is to focus on the following: obtaining a strong pull-up, a strong dip, and very high repetitions of the standard push-ups. Don't even worry about the reps and what standard to reach. One can literally milk these bodyweight movements for a much longer duration than they think. I made sure to set a high standard for myself to perform the basics with my specific set and rep goals, but to do them on the rings. And this in itself gave me the ability to continue getting stronger and building muscle for the first 1.5 years to almost 2 years of training before even adding any weight. This gave me a more clear and defined path for me to follow and allowed me to truly perfect and master these movements. And when I did progress and start to implement weighted calisthenics or attempt doing more difficult progressions, the progression jump was much easier because I had a very strong base. Now, what I'm not saying is for you to not train your skills, for you to not increase the progressions, but just don't be so eager to rush the basics. Don't be so eager to go on to the next level, right? And whenever let's say you do master the basics, then focus on understanding your current strength level and what that next best progression jump would be. For example, a good progression jump would be from, doing the push-ups. You start doing like 30, 40, 50 plus reps, right? And then moving on to the pike push-ups, right? If you want to learn the handstand push-ups, then the pike push-ups would be the next best progression. And then after that would be like the elevated pike push-ups. Now, what you don't want to do is go from like standard push-ups to like, wall handstand push-ups. Otherwise, it's going to be like a big strength gap that you haven't really put in the time to perfect, right? Even if you can bust out maybe 2 to 3 handstand push-ups on the wall, that doesn't necessarily mean you got the correct strength, let alone that doesn't mean you got the correct understanding of how to execute the handstand push-up with right technique, right? So there's a lot of components to knowing when to choose the next progression, but really it boils down to mastering the basics and literally milking it as you go, like I said.
Next, let's dive into grip strength. This is a crucial part of the calisthenics game that often gets overlooked. If you find that your grip gives out before your muscles do, it's time to start working on it. A simple yet effective way to improve grip strength is by doing dead hangs. Just hang from a bar and hold on as long as you can. Over time, you'll notice a significant improvement, and it will make a huge difference in your overall performance.
Grip strength, something that is very commonly used in weightlifting in general. Now, I obviously agree with this comment about how dead hangs will improve your grip strength, and as that's one of the pillars for learning the pull-ups as well. But a cheat code to work around that is to utilize chalk. Now, some people might start raging and typing in the comments talking about chalk is cheating, how it's not the right way to go about it. I don't care. I don't want to hear none of that mess, all right? I use chalk. I think it's very productive because naturally I'm a sweaty guy, right? And if I'm in the gym training hard, I'm going to be sweating even more. And if I want to do like, weighted chin-ups or whatever I want to do that requires me to hold a bar, I don't want to be placing limitations on myself, knowing that there's workarounds to mitigate those limitations and improve at more ideal conditions. So chalk really is beneficial to improve your overall grip strength as well. If you feel like you just can't get a good grip on the bar, right? You keep slipping, or you feel like it's just there's a disconnect between your sense of touch and the bar. But that being said, another great way to actually practically improve your grip strength is to start doing, single arm dead hangs or single arm scapular shrugs. Now, this is a progression for learning the one arm pull up, but even if you don't want to learn the one arm pull up, right? I think it's still beneficial because if you can hold your body weight with one arm for like, let's say 20 seconds, right? As a benchmark to reach, you're for sure going to have like undoubtedly all the grip strength that you need for calisthenics, like no cap. It's not to be overlooked because there is a lot of components that goes into holding yourself with just one hand, like core strength, like the ability to evenly distribute your weight distribution from not swaying back and forth because you're actually engaging a lot of muscle groups, literally all the way from obviously your grip, right? Your forearms, your shoulders, your lats, your core, meaning your hips, your abs, your quads, all the way down to keeping, composure to your lower body. Like everything is really being worked in unison. So I think that's another great, practical step to start implementing to improve your overall grip strength. So yeah, I recommend doing like, dead hangs with one arm for like 2 to 3 sets up to 20 seconds every time you walk into the gym. If you could do that, you'll be literally set to go for the rest of your calisthenics journey.
Don't get discouraged if you can't do a full exercise right away. Start with the negative portion of the movement. For example, if you're working on pull-ups, jump up to the top position and slowly lower yourself down. This method helps you build the necessary strength gradually, and before you know it, you'll be able to complete the full movement with ease.
So by doing negatives, where one focuses on training the eccentric portion of a movement to improve strength adaptations via the same movement pattern by training the same engaged muscles to the primary exercise, this will trickle down all the way from the basic movements such as learning the pull-ups, the dips, or the push-ups. And of course, the more advanced movements like learning the handstand push-ups, planche, and more. Now, I'm currently utilizing negative reps in combination with resistance bands of different resistance profiles to aid in my efforts to improve and strengthen my straddle planche. And the whole objective and purpose of this is to essentially increase time and attention, meaning the amount of time that I'm placing stress on my specific muscles by doing the planche, the straddle planche hold, right? And this is important when it comes to improving your strength adaptations, right? You increasing your time and attention, you getting more volume, aka more practice to actually understand the body positioning of how to hold the planche, understanding what muscle needs to be engaged so you can actually hold the planche with correct form and technique and doing it in a very, efficient manner. Because if you're not engaging the right muscles, then chances are, yes, you could hold the planche, best case scenario, but you're not going to hold it for very long, or your technique will just literally begin to fail, right? So yeah, for my use case specifically, I definitely approve of negatives, and me doing like straddle negatives in combination with the bands definitely helped improve my overall understanding of how to, get into a planche position, how to control myself from the handstand to the planche position. And yeah, I'm seeing a lot of progress with it. So I think it can definitely be utilized for a variety of strength lifting experiences and also for a variety of exercises as well. But hey, What do I know? If you want to see more content like this, be sure to follow me, man. I'm the Tough Fitness Scout, no cap.
Cobra Trains, he's up next. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's #1 out here.
He's the toughest fitness guy out here.